It is truly a great honor and privilege to introduce somebody I admire so much. The first time I met this speaker during one of our packed meetings, I realized his number one concern is about people. And the more I got to know him, the more I realized the reason for his success is his true, it's a genuine liking and somehow nurturing kind of concern for people. So I asked him then what made him the way he is, and he's so humble. He narrated his story to me. So of course he will tell us that later, but let me just tell you that Eric's passion and purpose is to develop the full potential of every individual to achieve personal and business growth. You see what I mean? Naka-focus siya. He focuses on the person, the individual. Since he started professional speaking in 1988, thousands of Filipinos experienced a significant impact in their personal and professional lives through the inspiring words of our speaker. His knowledge is gained from international business experts who also, in turn, inspired him to share success principles to Filipinos around the world. Advancing from his years of hands-on experience in sales training and business development, he became a dedicated business mentor to CEOs, VPs, and management teams to help sustain business growth. He delivered training programs on teamwork, personal development, customer service, marketing strategies, and sales training that contributed business growth for various companies. And of course, for the past 15 years, he has traveled to various places in London, France, Dubai, Singapore, Japan, Australia, Canada, and the United States to spearhead marketing strategies and conducted training to various sales teams. As a property investor, he is frequently consulted by international business groups in Singapore and as resource speaker for Philippine real estate. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is truly such a delight for me to give you our special guest speaker today, Eric Manalo.
Hello, good evening, and magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Thank you so much, Dina, Rock, and to all of you listeners out there. Dino, thank you so much for inviting me here, and it's a pleasure to see you all. Good evening, Rock.
Hello, Coach Eric. It's actually a privilege and wow, I'm overwhelmed yung coach ko ini-interview ko ngayon. So, kasi sir, you've been my inspiration, no, for this audience, no, for everybody's information. Si Coach Eric, he is my ghost mentor. He's my ghost coach, no. Ibig sabihin, kahit wala siya, nagpo-post lang siya, it influences me, it hits me, and then parang sinusunod ko yung sinasabi niya. Coach Eric, I'm really excited for a topic that you have, what you have for us. Maybe you could give us a little bit background on your topic for tonight.
Yes, thank you, Rock. The reason behind this topic kasi this is probably one of the first time ko i-discuss yung topic na to here in the webinar session. Most of my topics are mostly sales, business, marketing, personal development. But this is first time here in this program na ipapakita ko tong aking special topic called Empowered Leadership.
Wow, what a privilege.
Empowered Leadership, yes.
to
Empowered Leadership, yes. That's the topic. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, it's pretty interesting. That's why since I started hosting this type of leadership edge, nag-improve yung mindset ko in leadership.
Yes.
And yeah, empowering, I think this is what everybody's waiting for, and or this is what everybody's needs, what everybody needs. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Can you tell
Thank
us
you.
a background about what is this empowering leadership?
Yes, empowered leadership was designed basically for leaders and would become leaders. Kasi especially now during the pandemic, most of our Filipinos now are discouraged, demotivated, they feel down. I think they lack the self-confidence and they lack the leadership. Kaya hindi sila makamove forward. Kasi how can you move forward kung you don't believe in yourself? That's a very challenging situation. So that's why I came up with this topic, and I want to share this for the first time, so that I hope it would help us understand further what makes great leaders survive and grow despite any challenging situations. And I'm sharing this to all of you tonight. The topic is called empowered leadership. Yeah. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. It's clear, and we are all ears and
Okay.
eyes
Thank you.
in your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. I base this on real life and based on principles. Now, before we go to the leadership, I'd like to let's go to the basics and the foundation, the principles behind the leadership of empowerment. There are laws in leadership. Of course, there are so many laws in the universe about leadership. But let me share you two of the most important leadership aspects which I'd like to share. First is called the law of relativity. The law of relativity was designed by Albert Einstein. So he's one of my favorite. And I noticed that his behavior in handling the situations and problems in the universe is basically he sees a solution. He always sees an opportunity to every problem. He wants to identify how God made the universe in the form of science. So that's why he is one of my favorite. And this is how I see him as one of my mentor by sharing this statement that he said he see problems as an opportunity. And then the second law is called the law of attraction. Well, we're all familiar with this because the law of attraction states that your thoughts become your reality. Whatever you think will happen. Whatever you focus in life, you're positive or negative, whatever you focus, that's what happens. And I think this is what's happening right now. We are in a crisis situation, in a pandemic. People are having second thoughts. Am I going to be positive? Am I going to be negative? So whatever your thoughts are, that affects your attitude, your leadership in every aspect of your life. So focus more on relativities means that to understand situations, while attraction is how you influence others. So the fundamental laws of leadership is that you try to understand yourself muna as a person, and then you attract leadership by influencing others. And that so that because you cannot change people by force, you can never change a person by force. You can only influence them to change, and that I think we have to understand that. Otherwise, there will be conflicts will never happen in leading other people. Now, here's another very important area of empowered leadership is having a leadership vision. This is one of my formulae. Having a vision is how you see yourself, how you see your reality and realities of other people. It's like having a glass, no, an eyeglass in front of you. How you see the world, how you see yourself, is how you see your reality. So imagine if you see other people, the way you think about other people determines the way you will lead them, you would treat them. So for example, kids, if you see kids as the way they behave, that instead of what they can become, that spells the difference. So that's why vision is so important. If you think of growing and moving forward, you have to believe in the future. You got to have a vision. So I noticed that leaders in history have a clear vision of the future so that they can start to move forward to that growth. Otherwise, if you don't have the vision, it will be virtually impossible to move forward. Next. In this picture, you will see, in one glance, what do you see? Okay, I'd like to ask all the audience, what do you see in this picture? Do
Oh,
you see a parrot or do you see something else?
wow.
One glance, what do you see? Part of the vision. Do you see a bird?
Yes.
So,
Uh,
yes, this is
Or do
no.
you, if yeah, a parrot, yes, but
Yes.
if you look at it in a different vision, if you try to adjust your vision,
oh
do
yeah,
you, yeah,
something, yeah.
yeah, Dino, right, Dino?
Oh. It, okay.
If you dig
Okay.
deeper,
It's a man wearing a costume.
Yeah,
yes,
it's a
L-
it's a body painted na
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
galing, galing.
So
Oh.
the picture shows, teaches us a lesson that if you try to dig deeper, how you see other people, you will remove the all the other areas, and you will try to focus on the person, what the potential is, not from what he is from the outside, from within, from inside. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, so you see the goodness of other people, diba? If you remove all the blocks, outside blocks. So so this is just a simple exercise for everybody. So that's what how you see. Now, this next slide I'm going to show you is called the Maslow New Hierarchy of Needs. As we all know, Dr. Abraham Maslow in 1943 designed the hierarchy of needs. To those who are not familiar, this is basically the different level of needs, from psychological needs, food, water, and Wi-Fi nowadays. And the next level of needs after we achieve the physiological needs, the safety needs, which is our security, and then the next level is called love and belonging, where we feel intimacy and relationship and love. And then next level will be esteem, self-esteem, feeling of accomplishment. And then the highest lately was called self-actualization, achieving one's full potential. But before Abraham Maslow passed away, he in his deathbed, he was able to write one more. He revised his own Maslow hierarchy of needs before he passed away. And he said, no, self actualization is not the highest need, but it's called self transcendence. This is the ability or the need of every leader, not just to achieve their highest potential, but to also have the chance to share his legacy, to be remembered, to have a sense of meaning and purpose in his life, to be remembered by others. So this is a need. That's why this explains why billionaires, successful billionaires, are doing philanthropy work during their later years, because they have this kind of need. In I have to do this, otherwise my life is meaningless if I don't share my blessing to others. This explains why there are so many rich philanthropists out there, like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and the rest, because this is the need that they have. But you only achieve this, you only experience this self transcendence if you achieve self actualization. But in reality, one of the reasons why we are in troubled times, because 90% of our population do not experience the transcendence or even self actualization. Based on the study, 90% of the population are unhappy with their job, unhappy with their career, with their family. So whatever reason of unhappiness, because they haven't reached that level of success, whatever it is. So, and the most common problem that most man's greatest burden right now is the lack of self-esteem. It's not about the pandemic. It's not about the money. It's the lack of self-esteem. And becoming an empowered leader, having a sense of high self-esteem is so important, that you are confident that you can lead. So it's not true that the pandemic was the reason why some of our friends were depressed. It's because they lack the self-esteem. They forgot themselves. They did not remember how their potential is all about. That's why our main problem is the lack of self-esteem. That's why we haven't reached the peak of our performance. So our role as a speaker is to help people, encourage them to reach their highest level, not just to achieve the basics lang, not just to achieve the basic needs. Our role here on earth is to achieve our highest potential. As one of my mentors, Jim Rohn, mentioned one time, that our goal in life is not just to survive, not to thrive, but to be the best that we can be, to achieve our highest potential. And this hierarchy of needs proves that we are probably on the middle, or or we haven't achieved self-esteem. So this, I hope this slide helps to remind everyone that you can achieve, you can be the best if you take action to achieve it. Okay, so that's the slide. Next, when it comes to leadership, how do I become a better leader? So let me share you these levels of leadership, which based on experience, which I experienced, through all those years, and I'd like to share this to everybody. The first one of the levels of leadership, or one of the basic one, is called leading people through fear. We all know this, right? I can mention you a lot of leaders out there who are using the
Mhm.
fear method to
Mhm.
get what they want, to make people follow. It's a sad truth, but throughout history, if you remember, from the time of Napoleon Bonaparte to the time of Hitler to the time of so many dictators, this is what they use to impose fear so that they can have people follow them. Well, what's the problem with this approach? Well, the problem with this approach is that, yeah, you can become a tyrant leader in your organization. You can bully people, but the problem is it's temporary. They follow you because out of fear. But once you have no more control over them, the fear suddenly, you lose everything. The people will not follow you long term. They will always be like it's only a short term relationship. That's why when people ask me, Eric, why are my people not following me? My question is, what are you doing? What is your approach? Maybe this is your approach. Are you using fear to have them follow you? Now, the next level, of course, is called respect. The respect. I'm following you because I respect you. I'm committed working in this company because you are my leader, you're my boss, and I respect you so much. I'm following you out of respect. Yeah. So this is another higher form of leadership. From fear, it now is called respect. And this is another form of leadership. Now you can mention leaders in your life, in your career. Do you remember people in your life that you follow them because you respect them? Or probably mentors? Imagine your mentors, your teachers, your professors in college, or your boss. I'm sure you had boss that applied the concept of fear, but I'm sure you have boss that you respect, colleagues as well. So this is the second level of leadership. This will also answer the next question: why are people following me? Why are some leaders are successful? Probably this because they're applying this basic concept of respect. And the well, they're well, to be honest, in reality, majority of the population of the people are achieved only respect. But there are rare cases that there are some organizations and leaders who achieve the highest one. And for me, this is, I think, the highest form of leadership: leading with honor. You
Mhm.
People follow you because they honor you.
Mhm.
Now, it's very this level is one of the highest, but sad to say, not everybody achieve this level. When you say honor, this is how I define honor. They follow you even though you're no longer his boss, even though
Mhm.
you're already no longer connected to each other, but you still respect the guy or the lady. Until now, they still remember you because every time you mention your name, oh, I remember that person, that lady. She was the one who believed in me, and I
Mm-mm.
will support her to the very end. I have
Mm-mm.
so much
Eric,
respect for her. Yeah.
yeah. Eric, I
Mm.
have a question.
Go ahead.
Leaders are not necessarily people occupying high positions in
Mm,
government or
mm,
in organizations, because there are people without titles, but
mm,
some of them rise to such levels of
mm,
respect and honor that
mm,
they become recognized as leaders in an unofficial way. So if you spot such kind of leaders, what do you normally do? If you were, say, for example, a CEO of an organization or an association, what do you do with people who simply just work, do their best, and are able to inspire people? People just naturally follow them.
mm-hmm. That is true. Yes. The only in reality, some leaders are they have the ability to share and inspire people to follow them. For example, I can mention one in like for example, one of my favorite leaders in history, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. He was during his early days, he was kind of ruthless in the team, but later on, his later years, he became a very respected leader in his organization in Apple. And then when the time came, when he sadly passed away, people honored him. They remember his contribution. So even if Steve Jobs didn't had a chance to meet everyone and the people around the world, he was able to influence and inspire. He was able to transcend his example to the world and became the baseline of leadership. So, as I've said, majority of the population or leaders they achieve only respect, but it's very rare that they reach the honor level. Now, and leadership is not about position. I agree, Miss Dinah. Leadership is not about position. Leadership can be anyone. Anyone can be a leader anytime when the situation calls for it. Leadership is when you decide you decide to change, when you decide to help others. That's already leadership. When during a pandemic, I can see this everywhere. When people were the frontliners, they're not leaders. They don't have titles in government, but they took action to help and serve and help other people. Our frontliners, the nurses, the firemen, they all did this out of not just for anything in return, but they want to help others. So this for me is what leadership is all about. It's not about titles. It's being in charge when the situation calls for it, and your actions is how you will be remembered as a leader. Do they remember you out of fear? Do they remember you out of respect? Or they remember you? They honor you. So these are the three levels of leadership.
You
Next
know,
slide.
yeah,
Mhm.
Eric, I must say, you are one of the fortunate people or blessed, one of the few blessed people because at an early age, because I know very well you're not yet a senior, you know, at an early age, you have already gone through all the different levels of leadership, including the transcendence, which you just mentioned earlier. The reason I know that because I know you, I've seen you in action, and I've seen how people respond to you. So, indeed, I just wish other leaders, the real, supposedly with the titles, all right,
Mhm.
will realize that soon enough and not wait until they're on their deathbeds or nearing the last
Mhm.
days before they suddenly they
Mhm.
suddenly turn around. I
Mhm.
just really believe. And in fact, I'm so thankful for this opportunity of you sharing this with us, hoping there are many out there around the world, because this will be on YouTube as well, that they will realize that now, don't wait for tomorrow. You can start now, going through the different levels and go all the way to self transcendence.
Thank you, Miss Dana. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So I really hope this topic would help a lot of people. Now, one of my mentors is Dr. Stephen R. Covey, the late Dr. Stephen Covey, the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He was my very first mentor when I attended this seminar in Hong Kong. And through him, I learned my purpose. I discovered my purpose. Wow, this is my purpose. I want to learn trading skills so I can share. One of the things I will never forget on one of his lecture on the 8 habit of highly effective people. It's being a voice. Find your voice and inspire others to find their voice. So I remember that, and then he talked about the 4 areas of human nature. If you are a leader, if you're a leader now, you're handling a group, of a team, an organization, whether you're a CEO or a middle manager. Here are the 4 areas of human nature, and I will ask you these questions as I show them one by one. First, according to Dr. Stephen Covey, that the areas of human nature, to in order to have a holistic approach to leadership for people to follow you, you have to understand their physical needs. PQ, they call it. Are you doing something to improve the physical conditions of your team?
Mhm,
Okay, so that's the question. Next area is what we call the mind.
mhm,
If the IQ, we call it IQ. refers to the IQ. Are you, as a leader, what are you doing to improve the mind of your team? That's a good question, right? So I leave it that up to you. These are this is a very important, the mind. How, what are you doing? Are you stressing them, or are you building them up? Okay. Next. Then a third is the heart, or what you call EQ, as experts say, di ba? The EQ.
Mhm.
As a leader, are you taking care of their needs? Are you listening to their needs? Do they have certain emotions? Every person have emotions, especially now during the pandemic. We can't be judgmental to people when they're undergoing a stressful situation. Now, the mode now being a leader is not to judge them, but to listen them through by heart, to have a listening heart, to have what you call empathic listening. Empathic, you listen, understanding their situation, and before you judge them. Okay, maybe they're undergoing a very stressful situation. So, as a leader, you also have to understand this aspect of human nature
Mhm.
in order to lead them properly. And then the fourth is called the spirit, or SQ. Are you nurturing them? What are you doing as a leader to inspire them? You see, being a leader is not just about giving them orders, asking them to make a report, or telling them to report to you. No. Being a leader is mean, what have you done to improve the well-being, the spiritual well-being of that person? Are you inspiring them, or are you causing their depression? So these are just some of my questions that I leave it up to you. But that's the bottom line. Why some leaders follow, why some leaders are not successful. And I'm so sure that in your life, as you can see nowadays, even in government or in politics, or in organizations, you will notice those who are successful leaders are applying positive, um, empowering actions on these four areas. They know the needs of the people. They try to develop their mind. They listen with their heart, and they eventually they build their spirit, and then eventually becoming a better person. The role of the leader is to make sure that you build a better person, so that when the time comes when you retire, you looking back, I did a good job to my team, and in return, the team will remember you, and they will follow what you did. So these are the four areas of human nature. Now, this is what I call as a leader, being a problem solution matrix, having that kind of mindset. So I like to share this problem solution matrix when I'm solving problems. There are in the quadrant, there are of the matrix, there are Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So if you are a leader in an organization, you are an entrepreneur, you are a consultant, you have a business, you have a career, maybe this can help too. No? This is how I solve my problems, and how I coach companies as well. On the upper left, we call the Q1, the first quadrant refers to the problem. How do you solve the problem is first to recognize that there's a problem. See, that's the first step to become an effective leader in solving problem. You have to recognize the problem. So try to understand the situation. The business is affected, sales are down, expenses are ongoing. So you try to identify first muna the problem. Then you go to the second quadrant, which is focusing now on the solution. See, most leaders are just focusing on the problem. They're not focusing on the solution. So this quadrant will help you. Okay, so this is the problem. What is my solution? So basically, you can here in this is where the area where I we put all the solutions to from the problem. You can probably review your business model, especially nowadays. There's a pandemic. You can explore to digitize your products and services from traditional selling. Maybe you can make it digital, or probably use and then streamline your expenses. So this is what how I coach. There's always a solution to the problem. That has to be the mindset. Kaya nga, that's why I call it problem solution matrix. So you try to streamline the expenses, keep your resources, avoid spending too much. Don't spend so much money out of your pocket that's not yet collected. So these are because this is the reason why businesses are in trouble. And then Q3, quadrant 3 refers to the expenses. Um, Majority of the problem, Q1, when sales are down or no sales at all, automatic expenses are always consistent. Diba? It never ends. Eh. Yeah. Once there's no sales, plus your expenses are still continuously going ongoing, that is a big problem. But I always tell my clients, my mentees, is that we can still do something about it. And the solution here are some of the solutions to address the expenses related to Q1 problem. Reserve cash at hand, be flexible in your collection. Maybe you can do something to give them some terms or discounts, or probably strategize on payables. Maybe I can my bills, maybe I can allocate funds so that my cash flow will be not drained. No? I can manage my cash flow well. So these are some strategies on how you handle expenses. And then Q4, quadrant 4 refers to cash flow. This solution approach is what are you doing to improve the cash flow of your company? That's what I tell the CEOs when I meet with them. Okay, so you got to have a plan. You got to have a solution to your problem. So this is how I approach them. So cash flow, you have to focus on activities that will generate cash flow for your business. Okay, you identify the problem, you have a solution, you have an action plan for your expenses to keep the boat floating, and at the same time, you got to still continue doing something for the company to generate cash. Whatever it takes, especially in the pandemic. So what can you do? Maybe you can, number one, maybe you can maintain customer loyalty. You can take care of your customers, reconnect with your customers, with your past client. If you have 35 or 100 clients in the past, maybe you can come get back to them and say, how are you? Okay, maybe we can do more business together again. Okay, is there anything I can help? Can I reach out to you? So you keep the buyers engaged, keep your clients engaged, because this is how I survived during the pandemic. The reason why I survived, because I took care of my customers and they take care of me. So the business, my business as a consultant, still continued and thrived because I was taking care of my customers. Well, it's basically a long-term relationship. It's not like a one term. Now, if you're selling products and services, maybe you can tap different markets. Not just, it's not true that you couldn't close a sale, not because they don't have money, or probably maybe you're not tapping the right market. Maybe so that's why you have to identify where can I get cash flow. That's why, for example, let me give you an example. Before, restaurants are thriving. I know what happened. There's a pandemic. The restaurants closed. The fast foods closed. But what's the next step? So now, what cash flow are you going to do to save your company? Well, now they're going for delivery. They're doing their very best to have food delivered so that at least there's cash flow coming into their account. So whatever business you are, whatever career you're in, you probably, hopefully, this matrix can help you. So if, let's say, I'm an employee, I lost my job, my company closed, I was laid off. Oh, question. That's the problem. So what's the solution? I improve my skills. Or what's your strategy on expenses? Oh, I will no more buying, no more spending too much. Oh, I'll keep my money, save my money now. Okay, what's your strategy cash flow? Oh, I will try to explore new ways to improve my skills and get a new job. Preferably online. I can do online. I have online skills. If I was laid off from my job, maybe I can try online sales. I can try online jobs, because there are a lot of online jobs that are happening right now in the digital world. So that at least I have cash flow coming in, even if it's part time or full time. So that's the whole approach of this matrix, which I hope it could help everyone listening, whether you have a working or you have a career or you have a business. Okay, so next slide. This slide refers to real life experience, real world leadership styles. Alam ko there of course there are so many leadership styles that you read in the book, but that's based on my experience. There are two types of leaders, in my opinion. The first type of leader is called the consultative leader. A consultative leader, this is someone that you can approach, you can consult with, so that you can work together to solve a particular problem or a challenge. And the other one is called monopolistic leader, I call it. Monopolistic leader means that he's trying to control everything, to micromanage things, and then when something happens, you point fingers now. So these are real life scenarios that are happening in real life. So which is better, consultative or monopolistic, trying to to control. You're trying to control or trying to work together. Which approach do you think is better? Okay, so I leave that question to you. Okay. Next, next is what is important as a leader is that an empowered leader is that you have the power of affirmation. You have to recognize this power, and this is one of my secrets. How I am able to influence the chairman of a company, my team, and my fellow department heads during my time. I wasn't in a right position, but I was able to influence people around me. I was able to influence them from the top, middle to the bottom. And this is my formula. It's called the power of affirmation. This is the ability where leaders who believe in you when you didn't believe in yourself. That you have to believe in others when they don't believe in themselves. And this is happening right now in the pandemic. A lot of people have already lost faith in themselves. They lost faith in the future. They think that everything is going down, getting worse. So they lost that belief. So it's up to us, it's up to you to bring back that belief. And it starts by affirmation. Yes, you can do it. Come on, let's talk. Can we talk? You can do this. Yes, there's a challenge, my friend, but I'm sure we will survive. We will surpass this challenge that's happening right now. So even if it's not trying to be positive mental attitude all the time, but everything starts in belief. When you start to believe in a person, then you step by step you now begin to influence that person. Because I know how it feels. There was a time in my career I didn't believe in myself. I was not a speaker. I was just happy with my job, and then here comes my boss. I had the boss, and he said to me, Eric, I believe in you. You can be better. You can do this. You can become a speaker, Eric. Oh no, boss, I'm not that. You're the speaker. I, I don't see myself being a speaker. No, that's my reality. But this gentleman, this leader, was so persistent to me. No, 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 no. I believe in you, Eric. I know you can do this. And then after a few weeks, that's what he programmed in my subconscious mind. And then I started to believe him. Well, okay, sir, maybe you're right. Let me just try, huh? No commitment. No, and then eventually I was doing it. Before you know it, I was talking in front of the stage with the people, and that started my training career. Because there's one person in my career, one leader in my life who believed in me when I did not believe in myself. Now, question is, this is the question I'm asking to all of you about this topic, affirmation. Do you remember in your career someone who believed in you when you did not believe in yourself that time? So if you remember those moments and you became a better person because of that belief, then that is the power of affirmation. Okay, my friends, please use this power every day of your life. You have no idea how the power of belief can do to a person, to a child. If you have kids, don't judge them by their behavior, but look at them what they can become. I see kids as the future leader. Them as like, oh, you're naughty or what? No, I see you. No, I see you as a leader, because we all failed in our generation. Whoever's our leader today is the result of our choices. But at least we can do something for the next generation. They can be better. And affirmation is so important so that we can encourage all people. Remember the pyramid, the hierarchy of needs. Only 25% reach the self-esteem. Not everyone, not the entire Philippine population has achieved high self-esteem. And let's start doing that. Let's change the world. Let's change other people by starting to believe in themselves. And that's the power of affirmation. Okay, next, the power of the mind. This is very important. That is part of being a leader, because leadership is not to become a leader in a team, in an organization. You got to have a mindset of a leader. You got to have you got to maximize the power of your mind. When you say power of your mind, well, we all know that the right side is the emotions and the left side is the logical, the creative side of the brain. But we always forget the tendency of the subconscious mind, the power of the subconscious mind. According to studies, that 90% of our decisions are controlled by the subconscious mind. Very challenging question, yeah? I'm sure some of you might agree, some of you might not agree. No, Eric, Eric, it's the creative side. No, it's not. It's the logical side that's dictating about. No, they're no match against the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is like a huge CPU memory in our brain that that through the years, whatever good or bad experience that we encountered, that sometimes it comes to a point that that became our behavior. It becomes our behavior. If you have good memories, then that's good. You become a good leader because you were raised good, there were people who treated you well. It's normal. But what if, and I'm saying it's not perfect, right? But what if you had bad memories? You had a bad childhood. You had a bad growing, 25 years of bad programming. What would be the result? Eventually the behavior might be the same. Oh, I'm like this, Eric. I'm very grumpy because during my time people were grumpy at me. Okay, so that explains I rest my case. That's the power of the subconscious mind. It's no difference that I want to go to the gym, but you don't really want to go to the gym because your subconscious mind telling you no, you can't do it. So that's the power of this. So it's up to us to understand first the problem so that we can know what actions to take. So don't forget, that's the power of the mind. This is the good news, my friends. The subconscious mind may be there. It's a default behavior, but we can we can reprogram the subconscious mind by planting new seeds, programming new attitude, new forms of behavior, so that we can be a better person. So because that's the power of the mind. There's a subconscious, but you can change it. You can still change your reality. And then next is called the solution process. This is how I call the solution process in solving problems. You review, you consult, and you recommend, and then agree. See, being a leader, I have to admit that you are handling people, and you're not a perfect person. When you're handling especially in conflicts, how do you manage conflicts among your team, among your family? I know there are conflicts that happens, especially during the pandemic. Everybody's in a negative mode. Like 90% of the population don't feel positive right now. Only like 10% like us. But in the real world, not all people feel the same way. So this is my approach. I review the problem, I consult the team, and then make a recommendation, and then we agree. This is the process that everybody has to follow, so that there will be no conflicts. Instead of fighting each other, we are working together. Yeah. So that for a better. Because otherwise, if we don't have any agreements, no consultation, no reviews, we're not gonna move. We're not gonna move forward. We're not going anywhere. So that's why the solution is to move forward is to accept and then review and improve. So that's the solution process. Now, your role as a leader is as a consultant, as a trainer, as a coach, and as a mentor. Ayan, all rolled into one. See, a leader can be all four, or you can apply different hats, different approach. For example, if there's a team who approached you, how would your role be? He has a problem. Okay, my role can be a consultant. A consultant means they consult you. If you see that your team lacks the knowledge, oh sir, I don't know how to use the computer, I don't know how to use Zoom, then okay, let me teach you how to use this technology. So you become a trainer because you're a leader. You're giving them skills. Okay, then you say a leader can also be a coach. So what's the difference between coach and the trainer or consultant? Well, the coach, in my opinion, is someone who gives additional motivation to the person. It's like going to the gym. If you don't have, if you're doing a gym by yourself, yeah, you can put some weights and then that's it. Okay, you're done. But if you have a gym trainer, I'm telling you, it's a different, because somebody behind you is dictating you. Come on, push up more. So the coach is someone that will further enhance your skills. So your leader, you can be a coach. You can also be a coach. And then next is called the mentor. You can also become a mentor as a leader in your organization. A mentor, which means that you are inspiring them. You are there not just as a boss, not just as a leader, not just an employee, but you can be a mentor. Now, let me clarify. It does to become a leader. If you're, let's say, a rank and file or a middle manager, you're not the big boss. It doesn't mean you can't be a leader. You can be a leader as well by becoming a mentor to your colleagues, by sharing this information. Like, for example, in my case, I coach some of my fellow speakers. I become a mentor because I want to help them. That's my goal. I may not be a leader. I might not be a leader of organization, but there's something I can do to help other people. Yeah, so that's the role of leaders. And of course, leaders are handling issues. You have to learn how to handle issues as well. This is part of the Empowered Leadership Program. Um, Whether you're dealing with family conflicts, you're dealing with business or work, this is my formula. First, I confirm the reason of the problem. So where there's an issue at hand, okay, there's a problem, there's a conflict between person A and person B. What do I do? First, I confirm the reason. Okay, so what's the problem on your side? What's the problem here? Then next is understand both sides. Let me get this straight. Your concern with him is this, and let me clarify. Your concern with her is this. So you try to clarify and see the problems of both sides, because you cannot you cannot um, take sides. You got to see it as an objective, in a balanced manner, and then seek better solutions. And this is the most important. At the end of the day, at the end of all your discussions, the end result of that discussion should be you have to seek better solutions. Okay, so you mentioned your complaint with her. You mentioned your issues with him. Is there a better way we can resolve this? So that's the mindset of the leader. At the end of the day, we don't want to exclude anyone. We don't want anyone further hurt or what. But whatever decision it is, it has to be a better solution, not something regressive. Okay, so I hope this will help you in life and in business as well, handling issues. Okay, so now before we finish our topic, here are some last few slides. Managing teams. How do you manage your teams? So encourage effectiveness. Being effective means having empowering them with your knowledge. Me, how I do it is like this. Whatever I know, I do my best to share this to my team so that they become effective. I'm able to duplicate, at least if they absorb my knowledge better, because that's my goal. I want them to be a better person. You have to share it, because when you share your blessing, your knowledge, it comes back to you, and people will respect you and honor you for that. They will not hate you for that because you made them a better person. Sad to say, but there are leaders out there who doesn't want to share their knowledge because they fear that this person will be better than them, making it a threat to their position or whatever career they have. So have an abundance mindset by sharing, encouraging effectiveness, measure efficiency, and duplicate yourself. Imagine if you duplicate your skills. You see, the best reference of a leader is not on how good you are in personal performance. It's how you are able to make your team the best performing team ever. You are not judged by your personal performance. A sales manager is not based on the personal sales. The sales manager performance is based on group production. So this is basically how you have to understand this concept. This is not about you. Leadership is about them.
I like the last message mo. Yung leadership is not all about them. It's all about them. Talagang essential for a leader to have an empathy and to understand those people, their subordinates, when they handle their people. So, sir, I have a few questions, and I know this our audience have questions as well. Pero mauuna muna ako kasi coach ko to at ako ang host. Ako magtatanong kay Sir Eric. If you like to ask question, you can type it here in the comment box, okay? And then we will do our best. Of course, the Coach Eric will do his best to answer all your questions, okay? Via comment box. All right. So, Sir Eric, you've mentioned about the monolithic. Okay, there are so many monolistic leaders that I've encountered in my entire corporate life. And in fact, hindi ko tawag, hindi monolistic ang tawag ko, sir. I call them a rockstar. Rockstar. Kasi sila lang ang laging nasusunod. Sila ang may opinion. For example, no, may meeting kami, may brainstorm, and then at the end of the day, we contributed all our ideas, siya pa din masusunod. So, ang nangyayari, parang, bakit pa tayo nag-meeting? No? What's the purpose of this meeting? Kung meron ka na palang nabuo sa isip mo, and then parang, maybe in the future, just cascade to us whatever you have in your mind. So, sir, it came up to me, this question, how to manage a manager? In a perspective of subordinates, how to manage a manager? Monolistic or rockstar na leader.
Yes. Well, based on my experience, there are several ways you can approach this type of behavior. No, number one, you can either confront the person straight to the point, one-on-one, to get you and that person, that manager. You see, the problem kasi, Rock, na majority of employees or teams are afraid to face their fears because they fear that this person will get, in America, this Dino, right? And in America, if you have a problem with your superior, you talk direct to your superior. That's the culture of America. They don't care if your position is a VP or they don't care. They're gonna talk straight to you if you're messing with them. Especially especially if the cases like you have an idea, you have a creative idea, then suddenly he took the idea from you. Oh, that's a riot. But what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, you confront the person because that's one way. If you have the courage to confront them, and sometimes it's healthy because what could happen is that when you confront the person in a very objective manner, the person might also need that correction. Sometimes they don't know it. Thank you for calling my attention. I didn't know I was stepping on your foot already. Because that's the only way to find out. So then from there, that's the one. Then the second way, how I deal with that scenario is that if plan A doesn't work, nothing happened after your discussion, I go straight to the higher up, the higher management. Anyone who's higher than him, unless he's the owner of the company, you're checkmate. But if it's like a middle manager, maybe there's a higher person. You can, if you have hesitate, if that first approach didn't work, you talk to him direct. You go to the next level, to the higher level, and then you just briefly discuss with him. This is how I feel, sir. Can you help me on this? No, it's not basically I'm just to complain, but I'm just concerned, and this is affecting my performance, and maybe you can help us. So what will happen there, Rock, is that the higher management will probably ask an audience between the two of you. Okay, so in a closed door meeting. Okay. And I know this approach to McDonald's. McDonald's, when they're a service crew fighting each other, the manager will go to we will be locked in a room. They will lock us together, the three of us, and then we'll shout out our heart. But at the end of the day, when that door opens back, we're friends again.
Okay, that's a good idea. I think thank you for answering that, Coach Eric. Made me realize na you need to speak up.
That's the key. Yes.
Speak up.
Yes.
Kasi the way I see it, is it something about a cultural thing? Kasi sa US, as you mentioned, totoo po yun, sir. Now I have Western clients, European clients, and they're so straightforward. Nagugulat ako. Something like, just go ahead, tell us, Rock, what you have in mind, and spoke to us. Kasi nakita niya na I'm Asian and I go around in circles just to get to the point. Kasi as a cultural thing, we care about their emotions. Ganun kasi ata ang Filipino, parang sige na, wag ko lang sabihin kay boss, okay lang to, parang something like that. So which came to me a follow-up question on how to have a courage to confront a boss like that.
Because before I answer that, Rock, let me give you a background first. What's happening? The answer is yes. It could be a cultural problem, or it could be a psychological problem for us. Because ever since we were born, from the time we were, depending how you grew up, no, in an environment grew up, we were programmed by society, by family, by parents, by relatives, by your barkadas in college to keep quiet. No, if you have an opinion, wag. It's embarrassing. Don't embarrass the family. Diba? So we were subconsciously being programmed not to speak. So when the time we start working in our career, that mindset became part of our behavior. So when somebody tries to bully us in work, whether it's a coworker or a boss, guess what? We just remain quiet because that's the way we were programmed. That's why in our topic of leadership, we encourage people to be fearless. Be fearless, especially when company is collapsing or down. You can't stay quiet anymore. You have to unleash your potentials. Give your best suggestion. No more bossing. You the best ideas wins nowadays. No longer the traditional. Otherwise, we'll all go down the drain.
Yeah.
Now, that's the key to become fearless. That's why our job is to, going back to the hierarchy of needs, it's true. Not everybody reaches to that highest potential. We have lack of self-confidence. So imagine if a country is like that. This is the reason why we're all in trouble. Because we know someone is doing wrong and we're tolerating it. Remember I had a post the other day. What's the difference between suffering and pain? Suffering, in my opinion, is when you tolerate. You tolerate your conditions. You tolerate that person. You tolerate that relationship. You tolerate negative people. You try to please them. Right, Rock? You try to please them. So you just keep quiet.
That's true, Coach.
But that's why, while pain, what's the difference now? Well, pain is different. Pain can be a decision.
Okay.
It's a decision. It can be a decision. The decision can be painful. It could be a risk, but sometimes it's for the better. I will decide to speak up. Even if it may cost my job, it may cost the relationship to fight. But I have to do this so that I could grow. Growth comes from pain. No pain, no gain.
No gain.
Remember those? Yeah. So, pain is a choice. Yes, it's painful, but you have to undergo that process so that you could find out what the result could happen. And sometimes, in reality, it's good. Sometimes not saying violent conversation, but a more aggressive conversation is sometimes healthy in an organization because you speak your mind, I speak my mind. Okay, but just remember the process. That at the end of those talks, there must be a fine bottom line solution to that discussion. So I hope that helps.
Of course, sir. Definitely, it's enlightened. It enlightens me for sure. Some of our audiences now enlightened by your answer about that. Ito, sir, this is my last question. Okay, I don't want to consume. Alam ko we are limited time. Sa show natin. My last question. Ito yung I'm itching to ask this since the first episode. By the way, sir, this is our last episode for the season 1 and you're the season ender, no? Okay. So at any rate, why friendship is greater than a performer? Am I saying it right?
Is this based from experience? Real talk, no? Real talk.
Real talk tayo, sir. I'm itching to ask this talaga. Boss ko, anyone. Now, I'm not connected to any company anymore. I'm doing my startups.
That's right.
I think this is the perfect.
That's why.
And they are the perfect person to ask this. Why friendship is greater than a performer?
Actually, I would like to rephrase your question if it's okay.
Go ahead.
Dapat the question should be, why is high performance got anything to do with friendship?
Oh, okay. Yes, yes, sir.
Diba? If I just rephrase the context. Because it's all about you, remember? Leadership is all about you. Do you want to be a better person? Do you want to be a better leader? Do you want to be a better husband, family, a mother? Whatever you want. Whatever you want. The moment you try to compromise your abilities, your decisions, because your friend will say something about you, it will definitely affect your performance. Remember this, high performance is 24/7. It's a mindset. 24 to be a high performing employee requires sacrifice. Not everybody will follow you. Not even your boss. Not even sometimes even your family will understand what you're doing. So that remember this. And if family, sometimes your wife, diba, will understand, sometimes they won't. But when you're working so hard, remember, how much more from friends? Could you imagine that? So why should I change my life because of an opinion of a friend? Remember this: eagles fly alone. You have to sometimes social distance from people, friends, relatives, anything that will pull you down. So that to make sure that you become a high performer. To me, Rock, to be honest, something happened to me lately with my friend. I'd rather choose, if I choose high performance with my friends or friends, I'd rather choose high performance. Because when I perform high, I can influence more people. I can change the world. My purpose, my being a speaker, my being a consultant is so higher. My purpose is so higher, helping others, that my opinion of my friend is nothing.
All right.
Once you understand that concept, you become limitless.
I love that. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful answer and wisdom on that particular question ko. No? It's not personal, to quote you on that. It's not personal. O sige na, somehow, a little bit. Okay.
Real life.
All right. So, wow, how time flies. Thank you, Coach Eric, for being our guest tonight. I know everyone there can expect you of more in the future. Coach Eric, where they can reach you?
Yes, please. I have a gift for everybody. You can go to my website, www.ericmanalo.com. All my slides, all my topics are free.
No way, sir.
It's free. All my articles, purpose-driven selling, you can see in my article. I try to put all my knowledge there because one day I'm going to make it as an ebook. Yeah. So I put all my contents there for free. So you can access it for free while it's still there.
All right.
Because once it's a book, it's now it comes with a download plus download fee. But for now, it's free for everybody. The slides, the stories, real life stories. I only share real lives. My topics are based on 100% real life. I cannot think of any topic that's not based on real life.
I couldn't agree more. Again, sir, Coach Eric, what's the website again?
www.ericmanalo.com.
ericmanalo.com. All right. So thank you, Coach Eric, and all of you who are watching tonight. Please do check our FB page, Speakers Bureau Academy, and soon this episode will be launched on a YouTube channel, so everyone could watch as well, and then you can share it. And if you have a friends who wants to watch this is a private group, so ask them to just answer the questions, no, and then they'll be part of this community na. And then and all other episodes, so you can see it here. And then also on the YouTube channel. If you have some key takeaway from our topic tonight, empowering leadership, is please type it here in the comment box, all your key takeaway. And then in the next episode, ang guest po natin is si Eric Del Castillo. By the way, next episode is a season 2 na po. Wow, congratulations to us.
Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Dinah, Dino, Rock, you did a great job inspiring the world. I'm so proud of you.
Miss Dinah is my inspiration. Sir Dino is my inspiration. You, Coach, is my inspiration. All of you are my inspiration now. That's why I keep on moving forward, because of the blueprint that you guys created and shared to me. Fina-follow ko lang yun. Yun po. You are really, lahat kayo, no? The epitome of a good leader. All right, so next episode natin is a season 2. Episode 1 is Eric Del Castillo. He's gonna talk about interesting topic about leadership again. This is leadership in times of crisis, the role of HR amidst uncertainties. All right, so please don't miss that episode. That anyway, we're going to upload this event, so you will get notified for our next session. See you again, the same Leader Edge time, same Leader Edge day. I'm your host for tonight, Rock Leo. I'm a design thinker guru, together with our co-host Dino Santos, Jet Ramos, and Boom San Agustin, and of course, the founder of Speakers Bureau, Miss Dinah, is here in the house. Thank you so much. All right. We're not ending our
Yes.
fun without giving this famous learning is a journey with many full vistas and
Yes.
never-ending horizon.
Yeah. May I also say, Rock, you
Go.
gave me and Dino the inspiration to get this Leaders Ed started. It was you who planted the idea in our minds, and I'm so happy that we have gone all the way this far. And I know that you will be with us again, but you are still there giving us all the guidelines.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I'm just so touched by the very moving and real life experience shared by Eric Manalo with us. Eric, I'm telling you, every time I look at Facebook, I saw all the many people that you have helped, and they put in their gratefulness out there without you telling them. They just say thank you so much to Eric Manalo for giving me this guideline to how to succeed even more. So Eric, thank you, because tonight, you have more than just given a talk. My feeling was you gave me like a full-blown webinar straight from your heart and spirit. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless
Thank
you. God
God
bless
bless.
you more. Yes.
Thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much, Miss Dinah, Sir Dino. Thank you so much, and for everyone's watching, thank you so much for watching the entire, of being with us for the entire season 1, and see you on season 2 of Leadership. And God bless.
God bless.
So lahat kami nangangarap kami maging regular employee, but that never happened. I have to improve my attitude. I have to keep learning. Mahirap po, pero I went out my comfort zone, and then blood, sweat, and tears, just like a success story ninyo, and which made me where I am now. It's all because making that simple decision.
Let me ask you, I'm sure you are experiencing now even beyond what you imagined, correct? Oh, see? Because once you start moving in the right direction, pataas, no? I mean, it will just go, it will propel you to greater heights. Even if it is not yet true, you think, you believe, then you act like it is true. It will come true.
You're already earning money. These are the perceptions of the network. So you're afraid to go out to your comfort zone. It's from the media. You should go out outside your comfort zone. So take a leap. Good news normally are in the back pages. And if we're not wise enough, our thinking will be influenced by what we are bombarded on a daily basis. And show them the right way. Because I believe Everyone's here have a winning edge. Thank you.